Welcome, everyone. Another new week here at Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Klare. It is April 8th, 2019. The show, as always, presented by the Marijuana Times. Check us out at marijuanatimes.org. Click the video tab to find the show. A bunch of great articles there as well. Today, we're talking about the FDA and their thoughts in a coming hearing on CBD and adding CBD to food and drinks. Also, the Washington prison system changing some of its rules when it comes to drug testing, and also a rather disturbing story. Interesting as well, but disturbing nonetheless. All of that is coming up. But first, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Grow safe and poison-free. Don't use harmful chemicals on what you are growing. Don't use banned pesticides. Be regulatory compliant in the state that you are growing in. You can do all of these things with Natureside, nature-side.com. Proud sponsor of Cannabis News. This first story by Jason Sander at marijuanatimes.org. FDA schedules hearing on CBD infused food and drinks. State of CBD, Jason writes, in the U.S. is currently complex and confusing. Hemp was federally legalized along with the passing of the Farm Bill last November, which technically made hemp-derived CBD legal as well. However, the FDA has not yet approved the addition of CBD into food and drinks. That could soon change, as there has been a hearing scheduled for May 31st that will review the possibility of legalizing CBD at the federal level as far as being added to food and drinks. The FDA announced that they would specifically look for, quote, scientific data and information about the safety, manufacturing, product quality, marketing, labeling, and sale of products containing cannabis or cannabis-derived compounds. Outgoing FDA guy, chief dude, Gottlieb, said that it could be up to a 4-year process before they figure out regulations for adding CBD to food and drinks. I don't know. I have no standard of reference. I have no, reference at all as far as how much time that should take. But maybe I'm biased. Of course I'm biased, but 4 years seems like a really, really long time to figure out some regulations about adding an ingredient or allowing what many people agree is a harmless ingredient to food and drinks and making that a thing and giving people standards, companies and businesses and standards to go by. It seems like something that would not take 4 years. I guess there's going to be like a study group and maybe like a task force, and there's going to be like a committee, and then maybe some public comments and maybe some other things that go into that before they actually even get down to the process of making some regulations. I don't know. It seems excessive, but I don't run the FDA, obviously. If I did, one, I wouldn't be here, and two, it wouldn't take 4 years to make CBD regulations for food and drinks. It just wouldn't. I mean, I'm confident I could get that job done in under 4 years. If that's the standard we're looking at, I don't know. I think it's pretty low bar that I can vault, and I'm no pole vaulter to be sure. That analogy went off the rails. I don't care. It still works. This next story from spokesman.com. Washington prison system changes drug testing policy after inmates complained of unwarranted punishment. Washington's Department of Corrections has changed its drug testing policies after inmates complained that they were unfairly punished for false or misleading urinalysis results. Last week, the DOC stopped testing for cannabis in prisoners just entering the system, as traces of the drug can remain in the body for weeks after it is used. Obviously, this is something we've talked about many times on the show, and as many cannabis users know, if you smoked last week, it could still be in your system this week, even though you're obviously still not high or impaired in any way. The department is also looking to contract with a private lab to redo tests for inmates who dispute they've taken drugs. Inmates would be on the hook for the cost of the secondary test if it confirms the presence of an illicit substance. We're within a few months of being able to offer that confirmation test, DOC spokesman Karen Tekes said. There was an inquiry by the Washington's Office of Correction Ombuds, which was established last year to look after the welfare of the people held in state prisons. There was a couple of complaints from prisoners who said that they had marijuana came up in their system, even though they didn't have access to marijuana in jail. Inmate A was one of the two inmates that complained, entered the system in late July at Washington's Corrections Center in Shelton. And in late September, he submitted it to urinalysis in order to be transferred to a work release program, according to the report. The test revealed the presence of THC, the main psychoactive compound in marijuana. Taka said all inmates are screened for drugs upon entering Washington prisons, and later if their behavior leads prison staff to suspect drug use, The tests are administered by corrections officers, but not anymore when it comes to Washington. And their rules there, they're not going to test for cannabis anymore for inmates entering the system. This last story, as I promised, is disturbing. It also shows, among other things, the need for legalization. And but it's disturbing nonetheless. We'll just get into it. Hashish sold on the streets in Spain may be contaminated with fecal matter, according to a new study. Most of the cannabis resin sold on the streets in one Spanish city contains fecal matter, researchers say. A study published in the journal Science Direct found that 88% of the 90 hashish samples tested in Madrid, Spain, had fecal matter in them. It's now creating a public health issue. Researchers said all the samples were also contaminated by E. coli. Researchers believe the germs come from smugglers who swallow small baggies of the drug to avoid being detected. Which, my initial question to that is, well, if it's in a baggie and they swallowed it, why? How's the fecal matter inside? They need better quality baggies? Is that the crisis here? We need better quality baggies to be swallowed. I mean, imagine they're damaged, excuse me, somewhat by the stomach acid and stuff like that, I guess. I mean, but if that's the case, then how do you get it out? I don't know. But whatever keeps people from having to swallow baggies of marijuana, if that's going to solve this problem, I'm for that. It seems to me legalization would conquer a lot of that problem. If it's legal, you don't have to hide it. You don't have to go to the what I would submit as a rather extreme action of swallowing it and defecating it at a later time. It may not seem extreme to some of you, but it's if what I'm smoking is fecal matter in it, I got a problem with it. I'm sorry. That offends someone. The fecal matter defenders of America, I don't know. If there's a group for you all, I don't know. But I stand by what I say. I don't want fecal matter in my marijuana. And if legalization helps that, that's reason number 758 why marijuana should be legal. Fecal matter in the marijuana. We can remedy that situation. Get our best people on it. Our best people on this problem right here. Thanks everybody for checking out the show. I know it's disturbing, but it is. We don't shy away from the news here. Wherever it is, wherever it comes from, whatever it says, we don't shy away from it 5 days a week here on Cannabis News. Check us out at marijuanatimes.org. Click the video tab to find the show. You can also subscribe on YouTube and Vimeo. Search the Marijuana Times. Audio version of the show, subscribe to the Marijuana Times on Apple Podcasts. Thank you to Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Thank you all for watching and listening today, and we'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.